Hey guys, how's it going? I thought by now you're probably like sick of seeing my mug on this video alone, so I brought my best friend Orion.
Hi!
And as a little fun fact, probably like 3 years ago, I thought that being like a YouTuber was like a cool thing. So we filmed a bunch of videos together, like the cookie challenge and like, I don't know, a whole bunch of like...
Oh, the trivia,
social media trivia, all these like funny videos, which are now private, so don't go looking for them because they're horribly embarrassing.
You don't want to see them anyways.
But now she's back to talk about like weight loss thingies. And I would say like out of all the friends, out of the vast amount of friends in my life, she has been there through like before I even started losing weight. I think you were there like when I got lap band.
I was there like before you got lap band removed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, before I got it removed.
Yeah.
And so she's been through like all of this shit with me. Today I thought we would talk about kind of how different friendships like affect your weight loss and sort of how to like navigate still being a social person while staying like on target. What are some things that you've noticed over the past couple years about how I may have changed or not changed?
Yeah.
Like,
so I remember Laura and I used to go out and have dinner with this one other person really commonly as well. And whenever we don't do that anymore, but when we did, it was really funny because we would go out relatively often. I mean, at least once a week we would go out to dinner, and I would say about 75% of the time you would just order dessert.
Yep. I love dessert and I never have room for it, so I would always get dessert first, and like if I had room for food later, like I would eat that, but I never had room for food later.
No, you always just ordered dessert.
And so, like wine.
Yes, dessert. I mean, you can't have dessert without wine. So yeah, you would, we would go out much more often, and I don't think at that point, so for me too, I also have struggled with my weight, and I fluctuate. I've yo-yoed since I was 14 pretty much. But at that time, neither of us were really caring about what we were putting into our bodies.
I feel like we drank a lot too.
Yes.
Like we'd go to happy hour at like 4 p.m. or something, like right after work, and get so fucking shit-faced that like we would literally have to go home at like 7:30 and go to bed because like
we were done.
It was done. Yeah.
The biggest thing is that we would go out all the time. We didn't care what we ate, and you always ate dessert first. And now, since you've really started your journey, I mean, the number of times I asked Laura to do something with me, and she says no, is unbelievable. You used to never say no.
It's not just you. I say no to everybody.
I know. But you plan it and you schedule it, and when you know you want to go out and have, you know, a treat meal, you organize your week around it, which is really important to do. And that's one of the biggest things I think when you're going through weight loss is you can't completely take everything out of your diet and expect to be happy,
right?
And expect longevity in that. So now it's a priority of yours. It used to never be a priority of yours. We used to talk about it a little bit, and you didn't care. You loved your body. You've always loved your body. Hey girl, hey. And you weren't worried about it then.
Right.
And now it's like one of the top priorities.
Well, and it's funny too because like when, like even like going to barbecues and stuff, like we went to a barbecue like a couple weeks ago, and like my first question is like, what kind of food are they going to be there? Like, do I need to eat first?
Yep.
Like what's going to be there?
Right.
So it's like, for me, it is really hard to like literally do anything. And even like being a single person, it's really hard to like date because every guy's like, let's go get a drink. And it's like, fuck dude, let's like go on a hike or something.
Let's do
like,
something outdoorsy.
Let's do something active because like when I go on a hike, that is the fucking worst I'm going to look.
True.
So like if you want to hang out with me after I'm like, my heart is exploding out of my chest and like parts of me are sweating that you didn't know could sweat. Like, yeah, like we'll hang out again. And it's funny because I think we see each other more often now than we did then.
We find other things to do, and
Right.
we find other ways to hang out and find other activities. Like, so I used to hike all the time. I mean, I still hike all the time, and I always asked Laura to go with me, and she'd be like, "Ha!" That was literally her response. She would just laugh at me.
I do laugh like that.
And now you're constantly asking me to go hiking, and we've gone hiking together, which has been so much fun. Like something that we can share and do together, common interests.
Well, and
which we
it's
didn't
funny
have
now
before.
because when people who, not even that like way more than me, but when like inactive people like want to go hiking, I get pissed. Like I'm like, fucking hurry up! Like
Yeah.
this was my one exercise thing, and like
Right.
I'm
And I'm
not
just waiting
doing
on
anything.
you. Yeah.
Right. But I also think it's really hard because so this person Orion mentioned that we used to like go to dinner with all the time is the kind of person that like doesn't fucking support your goals
Doesn't
like
understand.
at all. Like if you're like, no, like I really can't do that. It's like, oh come on, like just this one or just have one and
Right.
like he will physically like try to like force feed you things.
Mhm.
Whatever. I mean that's why I'm not friends with him anymore. This one is still fucking attached for some weird reason. But yeah, so it's like, I mean, I am pretty, like I use the term like hermitizing a lot. Like I'm gonna like take some time and not go out or do anything. Like I have to get back to it. And like Orion's been really good about like respecting that, I feel like, okay, you can't go out, that's fine. Or like, we'll find something else to do or
Right.
whatever. Like just the other night, you were like, do you want to come over and we can cook dinner? And I was like, no, I have to eat like at this time
Yep.
and this specific thing. And then we joke and it's like, well, let me know when you want to be friends again.
Well, it's like, well, let's not go out to eat. Let's cook. But
Right.
then she and I also eat very differently. I eat pretty much no carbs, and I know she's talked about that on the videos before. But I found out I had a gluten intolerance, which was why I was not losing weight. I have been doing triathlons and working out, and I just kept gaining weight, like 20 pounds. So I can't have a lot of carbs. So we also eat really differently.
Right.
You know, I eat meat, fruits, and vegetables. That's pretty much it.
And I'm
It's
like,
nuts.
give me all the pizza.
Yeah, because you count calories, and I
Right.
don't. I look at what it is that
Right.
I'm eating, and I don't count the calories.
Which like neither is better or worse than the other. And it's
No.
like, that works for you.
Right.
This works for me. Like,
and that's what I think. That's really what weight loss is all about: is
Right.
figuring out what works for your own body. Because what works really well for one person is going to work like crap for another person. Like
Right.
me going carbless works perfect. It's the only way now with diet that I can lose weight. And for you, it's, I mean, your body's like reacting really negatively
yeah.
to it. So you never know, and it's really about figuring out what works out for your own self.
And so I think there's kind of like two kinds of people you're gonna end up having in your life, especially once you start to have some success losing weight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I'll say specifically girlfriends that I don't have in my life anymore, and they were always like smaller than me when I was at my heaviest, but now I'm smaller than them and they don't want to have anything to do with me at all. And part of that I think is because a lot of them are still like, oh, let's go out to the bars and get wasted like all the time, and I'm just like, I don't really want to do that. So part of that is me.
Right.
But I really think that girls especially don't fucking want to be the fat friend.
Yeah.
And my entire life I've been the fat friend and not given a fuck because I don't fucking hate myself.
Right.
But I think a large majority of girls like
They want to
don't
feel the
wanna
prettiest.
be-
They want
yeah.
to be the skinniest. They want to feel the prettiest. They want
as
to
long
feel
as
the
there's
most
someone
successful.
else in the group
Right.
that's like bigger than them,
Yeah.
then they're comfortable.
Right.
But like, I'm sorry friends, but like I have always been extremely good looking. And like
true.
it was never my size that like you should be comparing yourselves to, because it's really fucking selfish, and I think it says a lot about a person. Like, oh, you don't want to be friends with me now that I'm like healthy? Like,
Right.
fuck you, dude.
Right.
Like,
Well, and especially because your personality has changed. I mean, you were always funny and goofy, and you always loved yourself. But you're so much more fun now, and you have so much more energy, and you give even like I know, you're tired, but you give even less shit, and your self confidence is more than it was before. And it's like, why wouldn't someone want that kind of person in their life?
right.
Like, if you were able to be my friend when I was really like at my worst and I wasn't as great as I could be, and now you are, and that why would you want that person? Like what is I don't understand.
Well, and I think it all comes back to just being extremely selfish. Like it's
and not confident in your own self,
right?
In your
like
own body.
they want. I mean, like I've had people be like, so like, how do you do it? Or I just can't do it, or whatever. But then it's like, okay, but then you don't want to be friends with me because I was successful at this, and you're just not there yet.
Right.
Like
we're not prioritizing it.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually think it's probably pretty healthy to like cut those people out of your life.
That's such a huge part of growth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, because yeah, like it's very hard when they're not supportive. Like my ex-husband would always say things to me like, don't lose too much weight because he liked bigger girls. And it's like, I feel like that was always in the back of my mind. Like if I lose too much weight, like he's not gonna find me attractive or whatever. But then, you know, like you eventually stop giving a shit about like everyone else.
Right.
And like think about what's gonna make you happy.
Well, when you go through such transformations like this, it's not, when you lose a significant amount of weight, the transformation isn't just about the physical aspects of your body. It's about, what do I prioritize? I need positivity. You need full positivity around you. You need the support. Who's supporting me? Who's not supporting me? You know, why aren't they supporting me? Is it something I can talk to them about? Or is it something that, you know what, our friendship has surpassed its time.
Right.
You know, and that's okay. Like we were friends at one point. I'm a firm believer in that people come in and out of your life for a reason, and that, you know, it's sad when they leave, but you always kind of learn, okay, what role did they play during that time, and how am I now not needing that in my life? And you see that a lot when you go through big transformations like this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So yeah, if you guys have friends that are like super supportive or ones that are not at all, like leave a comment in the box. Let's chat about it. Let me know how you like kind of deal with that. And I will see you next week.